My name don't come out there.
Good morning, transportation. Just a friendly reminder, please turn on your cameras. Please make sure to put your name and number in the chat. We ask everyone to keep muted unless otherwise instructed. And our normal business norms are in effect.
Are we ready to start, Crystal?
So we're having technical difficulties, but if you want to start, right now we're up to 32 participants. We're just waiting on, we're having issues, technical issues, but you could go ahead if you'd like.
Okay, I'm gonna get ready to start, and then I got some stuff that I need to mention before we get going. Good morning, transporters and bus aides. Thank you for joining in our first safety meeting. Hopefully Crystal and Rose can take care of the technical difficulties, but I got some information that I want to pass on if you're not aware of it. Okay, number one, I don't know if many of you know that Hector Herrera is retiring. His last day is January the 31st, which would be Monday. I'm sure he's going to leave early. He's probably packing up his tools and coming the final countdown. But I just want to share the screen that we did get him a plaque. And so I want to show it to you and then read it to everybody. So if you have not seen Hector, you got today and tomorrow and Monday to thank him for all the years of he's been with the district. Can you see the screen, Jennifer? Okay, there's the plaque that we got, Mr. Hector Herrera, the technician. And it reads, the retirement award presented to Hector Herrera in appreciation of your years of hard work and dedicated service. Your loyalty and friendship will be long remembered. Good luck on your retirement, Hector. So Hector, thank you for all the years that you have served and done for the our department. And so I wish you and the department a well journey to your retirement, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, and you're probably going to sit back on a chair on Tuesday and look back at all the years that the things that you had done for our district. So good luck, Hector, and thank you for everything. Okay, the next news that I got, I don't know if any of you are aware of, Miss Jennifer Powell is moving on too. Monday is her last day, and she is going to a new department. She's still in with the district, but she will be at a new department, which is purchasing. So if you're not aware of her moving on, so you can say thank you for everything that she's done, and she's been with us for 2 years. And Miss Jennifer, thank you for everything that you've done for our department, and you will be greatly missed for all the things that you've done and accomplished in the 2 years that you have done for our transportation. And thank you for the job well done that you have done and kept everybody in touch with all the information that is needed with the transportation. So thank you and good luck. And you still be in our hearts and our minds. So so you'll still be part of our area when you handle our paperwork now. The next thing I want to talk about is next department meeting, we usually have them on Tuesday. Mr. DeCruz and I have we have something planned all that day, so we will not hold our department meeting, but it is still gonna be next week on Wednesday. So please, please write down on your calendar that next week's department meeting will be on Wednesday at 9:30. It is not canceled. We're just moving it one day down. So make sure that you put that on your calendar, because I got some important information to give out next week. So make sure that you're on next week so you can get the information. Crystal, are we ready to roll, or you want me to extend a little bit more?
Are you ready? Can I see you? Well, unmute your thing here first. Hold on. I can see you.
Okay. Transport is just a reminder, today is our new year for our safety meeting. So we're continuing, this is a safety meeting, and that is why I didn't want to take out too much information. But thank you for the both of you that are moving on to our new journeys that you're happen to be going on. So thank you. And I just wanted to take the time to thank them. You may move on, Crystal.
All right. So can you hear us? Rose, check your mic.
Test 1, 2. Yes.
Okay. So Happy New Year. That's right. This is our first New Year safety meeting. We wanted to go over a few things that are very important. Rose, you want to start? Let me share the screen real fast.
Okay.
Feedback.
Chris, you or Rose are gonna have
It's mute. I have to mute and then you.
Why did I go back? Bring it down.
Now let me start sharing. Let's see if we can share this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're good.
She is muted now, but she's supposed to be talking.
Okay, then you're gonna have to mute.
All right, back in. Good morning, guys. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about our pre-trip. First of all, I've seen that most of us, I'm saying us because I do forget some stuff too, that we've gotten a lot of complacent here. We've gotten complacent. We forget some of our steps in our pre-trip that are very important. So we recorded some of our drivers yesterday morning so that you can see the differences between their pre-trip. We also, when we show these two videos, we do want to get a little bit of feedback. So if you all guys would text in the box and let it know what you guys saw that's right, think we should add and they should do different. Feedback is important. We're all on the same page. So we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna play one of our videos right now. Just 1 second.
My name is Jackie.
Oh, of course.
Am I making too much noise now?
Okay, so that was one of the pre-trips that we recorded. So we would like some feedback, guys, on this. What do you think he should have done different? Or so go ahead and write it in the chat if you have any questions, concerns.
You're not loud.
Good job, observing.
Crystal,
Yes, go ahead.
on my end, the video was like skipping and it was all muted. So it just looks like a picture and a picture and a picture like that.
Okay, so there was it was
A
wonky.
delay.
You didn't get to see all the different pieces.
And also, Crystal, I didn't hear Rose till the very last end of her conversation. So you might want to brief them what was going on there to kind of let them know what was going on.
Okay, and again, I apologize for the technical difficulties with the internet and stuff. It's been a challenge to try and get this presented properly. But basically, for those that were watching, his pre-trip took approximately about 5 minutes. And he did go through quite a bit of it. He did do, if you notice, the emergency windows and the emergency doors. And he used the light test in order to test the lights. I know many people use it. It's a great way to get all the lights going so that you can check every single bulb at the same time. He did go all the way around and check the tires. For those that were able to see it completely, was there anything you do different or that you noticed that may have been missing on his particular one?
And a lot of things, guys, also in the pre-trip, it's non-negotiable. Like, we should do this on a regular. Like, if it's mandatory for DPS, it should be done here as well. Because we're children's safety here, that we have to transport to and from school. So with us doing this pre-trip, it's like indicating that this bus is safe to roll.
There is a delay.
So if you see on his pre-trip, it was the air brake test system. It was different. So the way we learn it for DPS is the way we should be doing it here, which is you're supposed to put the gear, leave it in neutral, release the parking brake, you hold it down, the service brake for a full minute. We're waiting to see if it's not dropping no more than 3 PSI within this minute. If it does drop more than 3 PSI, we have to call in shop and let them know that we have to put this bus out of service. More than likely, they'll give you another bus, unless they find the air leak in time. After that, you can plan your brake. When it hits 60 PSI, you should hear your warning signals. If you don't hear your warning signals and you don't do the whole pre-trip, if you don't hear those warning signals and you're driving down the highway, how are you gonna know you're losing air pressure? What's gonna happen? Your bus is gonna come to a complete stop. So that's why we do when we hold down the service brake and then we release the pressure by fanning our brake so that we can hear those alarms come on at 60 PSI. After that, we continue to pump and fan your brake. When it gets between 20 and 30 PSI, your parking brake should reapply. That's the way we should do our service system, our brake check. Crystal, you have anything to say about anything else?
Yeah, it's really important though that you don't take it for granted. Like, again, complacency it's very easy for us to just check off every single check or do it ahead of time and then just turn it in. And those things that you sign, those pre-inspection that you sign are very, very important. They're a document that we can use in a court of law. So you want to make sure that if you're saying that it's okay, that it is okay. We're going to go ahead and check another one.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and look at another one. Give me 1 second. Let's see if this will work better. I hope so. Share. All right, and action.
As you can see right here, guys, as she approached her bus, she did look under to make sure that there was no leaks. She went inside her bus. She's doing a safe start. The safe start is when you make sure that your gear is in neutral and your parking brake is applied.
194 registered.
After that, she goes ahead and starts the bus.
Base 188.
All right, she comes on the outside. Starts going through our mirrors, making sure everything's mounted securely. Make sure the top's on the DEF. Make sure the door closes securely. As she's walking around, she's checking her lights. She checks the front and the back tire, indicating that it's not flat or low. She checks her fuel door. Make sure that shit secures. Goes around to the back of the bus. It is choppy. She's checking all her lights, making sure everything's coming on. After she checks that, she goes around the side. She's checking the other side tires, the front and the back. Checks her mud flap. She's checking her side mirrors, making sure her flaps, her stop signs are out. Checks her front tire, pulls on her crossover mirror. She pulls on her Hold her front grill just in case. Making sure all the lights are on. She moves over to the side to see if she can see her strobe light on. Then she continues to the inside. Goes back in. Turns off her light check. Now she's gonna check the end cap. At this time, she's gonna do her brake test, I believe. All right, so she's holding down, she released her parking brake. She's holding down the service brake. Wait a full minute. I know a full minute seems like forever, but all right, it's been a minute. She didn't lose no pressure. So that's when she starts fanning her brake, her service brake. And that is the alarms at 60 PSI. Now she's waiting between 20 and 30 for that service brake to reapply. And there it is. And after that, you can go ahead and start your bus. And now she goes to the back of the bus. Checking your emergency exit windows. Checking her rear door. And that's it.
So questions, concerns, it's really, really important, of course, to pay attention to the details. But one of the things that, if you notice on these two, that is very important out there is those windows. It's concerning when I see windows that have the driver's side window covered. We shouldn't have any, remember that's part of our pre-trip. There shouldn't be any debris or anything that's covering any kind, that's going to be blocking any kind of our visual at all. So please do your best to eliminate any kind of, if you have too much stuff on there, we do ask, of course, when you're covering another route that you put that number, but I think we've all figured out a good location for that window, for that number on that window, so that it doesn't block your view to your mirrors or cause any, blind spot on your front mirrors or side mirrors.
And to answer to Whitney's question, yes, Whitney, that's a good idea about carrying a flashlight. I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure if shop can supply one. We did at one point, but I mean, you can ask them. If not, like Jackie did, she uses her phone flashlight. So that helps also. And Carlos does have his own personal flashlight. So that is a good thing. Also, guys, when we are doing our pre-trip, I know we always check the buses and the outside of the bus and the inside of the bus, but at the same time, we also got to remember our credentials. Don't forget to carry your license, your medical card, and your certification card. Those 3 things are important just in case anything ever happens. Make sure your windows are clean. Also, guys, you want to make sure that those dashboards are clean. You don't want to have like all these little things on the dashboard, and it's like when the sub drivers go on certain buses and they have all these things on the dashboard, and it's like you don't want to take them off because you feel bad because it's your own personal space, but at the same time, that's something that shouldn't be up there in the first place.
Yeah, when you put a lot of stuff on that dashboard, for somebody like me who's ADD, first of all, it's very distracting. And so I do have, I understand that we put the masks and stuff there to make it easier for the kids to get, but then it blocks the ventilation there for the defrost on those windows. So just be mindful of that, try to minimize as much as you can the stuff that you have on that dash. You don't, the less you have on there, the better. I know for some of us, we have our check boards or whatever on there. Just do your best to try and keep that as minimal as possible. Anything else on that? Any other questions or concerns? We're doing on time. We're doing good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is loading and unloading. If you remember, that's the most dangerous part of of everything that we do is the loading and unloading. There's in the very beginning of the school year, and I don't think we need to go step by step as to what is expected of you or expected of us as drivers in terms of amber lights and hazard four-way flashers, our loading lights, all those things. One of the and turn signals. One of the concerns is the importance of where exactly you're stopping. Remember, we're not supposed to be blocking any kind of intersection. And the reason is because you don't want to block that intersection. You don't want to cause any kind of a hazard, a delay for emergency vehicles and whatnot, although you are trying to load, but remember, by blocking that, you cause a traffic issue. When we're in the apartments and the mobile homes and the subdivisions, remember that in some areas, there is a designated area where we pick up and drop off. The importance of dropping them off properly. Remember, it's all about the safety. Don't just go into a subdivision or don't just go into the apartments and just drop them off. We have had the reason that we drop off where we do is for, like I said, for safety and management. Do you want to say something else about that?
I just want to say something about the Esperanza apartments. I do go in there quite a bit on a daily basis. And we do have some of the drivers that, I guess just because you got to understand that the special needs unload wherever the apartment building is at, right? So the big buses, that's why we're showing this picture right here. This is the pavilion to the Esperanza apartment. And the way you're supposed to unload there is you're supposed to come in, go all the way around the apartment building, and then come up and pull up in front of this so that your door is facing the pavilion. That way it's safety right there. So they got the sidewalk and they got the roof just in case it's raining, it's cold. I mean, they have something to protect them over themselves. So the Esperanza, you want to go in all the way to the back, take a right, go around the building and come up to the front like if you're going to exit already. That's how we want to do that with the Esperanza one.
Yeah, and we appreciate, I know that because of the shortage that so many of us help out with different routes. And that's why we're saying in general, we're not, this is not in particular one bus that we get, no, just in general that we need to make sure that we remember. And if you have any question about that you're doing a particular route or helping out with a route, hey, where is it? By all means, please call dispatch and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Another thing about loading and unloading, make sure that even if there's not a student at the stop, we're asking you to please make that complete stop. Pull that brake, open that door, even though you don't see children there, even if your route is a stop to stop, a house to house. The reason that we're asking you this is for a few reasons. One, because of the safety. There are kids, remember, we make a complete stop, even though you don't see them as they approach, they may be running up to you because the time is, we've had so many changes in the time. Sometimes we're running late, sometimes we're running early, sometimes there's weather issues. So please make that complete stop. It also helps us when we go back and do a report for whatever reason, we get a call, it's so much easier for us to print out your report, and it'll give us a pinpoint exactly what time you were there. And that way there's no, we can tell the consistency. So be very mindful of that when you approach a stop, even though you don't see the children, make a complete stop, pull that brake, open that door, just wait a few seconds, and then go ahead. If you don't, after you look in your mirrors and you don't see anybody running after your bus, then go ahead and continue.
To say a little bit about that too, it's good to make that complete stop also, because if you are a sub driver, or there was a sub driver the day before and they picked up at a certain time, it's always good to make that complete stop, even though it's your regular route, but there was a sub driver the day before and they picked them up earlier or later, then the kid's gonna think, okay, there's a new time. So now they're coming out at a different time. So with you making that complete stop, you're actually getting that time, protecting yourself. So when they do call in and they're like, oh, my bus driver, you know, they call in and they get all upset. Oh, my bus driver didn't come, da, 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 da. Pull it up on the GPS. Oh, ma'am, they were there at this time, they opened their door. They made the complete stop, they opened the door, the red lights came on, they closed the door, and they went. So that's what's good about this, making that complete stop in those stops.
Any questions about that? All right, so we want to continue with, again, loading and unloading and the safety issues. Usually we show you videos that we find on YouTube that are maybe not us. This time we're going to share so that we can see
These are actually
actual videos.
from our department.
So pay attention.
And this is a morning one, as you can tell, and it is a country route.
You see her put her yellows. Hear her secure her bus. Open your doors.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. You okay? Are you okay?
You did hear the driver say, are you okay? Are you okay?
You're right here. You're right here. Are you okay? You didn't get hit, did you? Are you sure about that?
So I'm going to stop it there.
But did you see how close that car got to that student? If he wouldn't have swerved to the right, first of all, he shouldn't have even been going at the same time. But did you see he swerved to the right? If he wouldn't have swerved to the right, he would have hit that kid straight on. So he's very lucky. He did not get hit.
Students that cross, and we all have, many of us have routes where the students cross. And as much as we wish in a perfect world that we would be able to pick them all up on the passenger side, it is what we do. So it's very, very important to train your students to wait, to use that hand signals and do your best, because sometimes no matter what you're doing, you do everything you can correctly, things like this happen. Any questions or concerns, or anybody like to share anything?
Jackie, you have a question? Every day I have to use the horn. Good job.
Yeah. Kudos to 234 who did a great job. And remember that's all you can do is your very best. She did everything right. And it's very hard to get your students to listen to you. I mean, they're kids. But she tried to as soon as the student did get on the bus, try to, make sure that they're okay and make sure that they're calm and stuff. Sometimes we can't control the traffic around them. So be very, very mindful of all that. Want to continue?
Yes.
All right. So that was one in the morning. Let's see if I can go back. That's right here.
The next one we're gonna show, it is in the
Hold on,
PM
hold on,
route.
hold on. Let me make sure I share it right.
This one was in the PM route. And it was a sub driver.
Get ready.
Yes.
So pay attention to the left side of your screen. Now this is the back of the bus. You see the car behind the bus is a good distance. The car, the white car stays behind, so there it is.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
No.
So that the video that you're seeing is not the bus that actually dropped off the student. That bus was behind the bus that dropped off the student. And so you see the car behind the bus that was actually, so it's a bus and then a car that was behind it. But on the driver's side, those other cars that should have stopped, or not, they shouldn't have stopped, they were going. So what happened in this instance is the child was in the bus in front of this bus that we took this video from, and they didn't cross. They stayed on the left side, and not knowing if the student was going to cross or not. Undoubtedly, the student decided to cross after the two buses had already passed by to try and have them cross safely. Then they crossed, and unfortunately you can't see. There's a likelihood that the pedestrian couldn't see over the cars to notice. You can't see around us to see if the cars were coming. So it's very, very important that if you are a sub driver or if you are helping out another route, that you ask the students, do you need to cross? Are you going to just get off here? Don't ever, we need to not assume or not to the complacency of not asking. We have a lot of students that just get on the bus, that have just started, even though we're almost midway through the year. And I know it's hard, but we all need to be mindful of that. Rose?
Yes, again, like Crystal said, it is important, guys, that we do ask them. I know sometimes you don't want to make that conversation with the student and what have you, right? But still, if you're subbing for somebody or you're helping out with somebody's route, make sure you ask them, like, you see, and what happened with this video too, like I said, it was a sub driver, was that the sibling came out from the side of that house where they didn't live. I don't know, I guess they were playing or something. So in the driver's eyes, she assumed that he lived there, but he did not. He actually lived across the street. So if you were to see the whole video, she gets off, but she runs from the yard, comes and gets the student, and then they walk back into the yard. So there was no way of the driver knowing that he actually lived across the street. So that's why it's important. Like, make sure, guys, do you live across the street? If you do, you need to cross in front of the bus. You never want them crossing in back of the bus because you can't see it. Once you're gone, you don't know what's happening. And you see how that driver, that white car stopped, and he's the one that waved him on. And that day too, the sun was so bright. I remember because the sun was so bright. So that driver in the white car probably didn't even notice that there was cars coming. So that's why, and then this incident happened.
Yeah, any comments, concerns?
So what I wanted to know is, why were they crossing the street in the first place?
Why were they crossing the street in the first place?
Mr. Jeff,
Yes.
I can answer that for you. Remember, there was a sub on that bus, and if you look through the whole video, you would see the kids going to the right. So they were thinking that they lived to the right. They didn't go straight to the front of the bus and to cross. What they did is there was another person, and the kid got off the bus. They were distracting, looking through the backpack. So the first bus went by, and then the second bus went by. And then I think the car behind the bus they stand by the road and gave them the right of way. So that's what we were thinking. That's why that situation happened.
Okay, because that's what I couldn't figure out, because I thought the policy was we pick up on the right side, we drop off on the right side.
Yeah,
Thank
we try to do our best, routing wise, we try to do our best that they don't have to cross, that we pick up and drop off on the same, on the safe side, which is their side. But unfortunately, for many, like I said, for many of us, it's not possible. In order for us to be able to do everything that we have to do to transport our children, there are lots of places where we have to cross. Not making sure that we don't leave the site until we are sure. And I know it's hard because the kids, like they said, the kids will start to piddle around or try to get something out of their backpack or walk away from the stop, and then they decide to cross. We just need to do our best. If we do our best, right, that's all that we can do. It's just not to be just allowing them to, and I see many drivers, like many of us, that they just wait there, and we don't want to cause a traffic jam, but at the same time, once they leave our bus, we can't run after them. So that's pretty much it. I mean, we just need to be very mindful of that. Are you seeing comments?
Le dije, I don't mind driving. Ella quería manejar, me mandaban con él.
Said they need to know cross. Yeah, that's a good, Jean made, yes, thank you, Jean, that's perfect. Drivers, if you can make notes on your thing, and some of y'all are really great about it. Like I said, I've been on lots of y'all buses where you leave great notes for the sub drivers. That'll say this student crosses, if you all could please put notes on your route, because remember the trip description doesn't necessarily tell us that it's this student crosses or this student doesn't cross. Especially if you have crossing in areas that are heavy traffic, please make notes for the sub drivers. That would be great. That would be a great way to make sure that we don't allow them to just stand there. Anything else?
And that's it, guys. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. Just use cautions. We're professional drivers. And
So Chris,
Go ahead,
Rose,
sir.
can I say something?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
And just to to make everybody aware, going back to the people that volunteered to do the pre-trip and post-trip demonstrations. Our goal is moving forward is to do a lot of these training or use the videos in-house as we've done in the past. But I think this time today, we used two scenarios that could have been or could have had some real ending dire consequences, right? So we will start using some of these videos where those close situation scenarios where, you know, something was averted or something almost happened, right? And we can always pull videos from other sources or resources, but I think, and we try to include the drivers to let them know, hey, look, this is a great learning opportunity for everybody, and we're going to use this, but we want to make you aware of it. These are not punitive videos, or these are not redirected videos or anything like that. These are learning opportunity videos so that everyone can see, and everyone can give every feedback that you want, and it's greatly welcome. But in the end, the great thing about these scenarios, in one of them, it was a close one, and another one, it actually did happen. But in the end, the students were recovered, and that's the important thing, right? And these videos is, what do we do? And I think Rose mentioned this at the beginning. We tend to get comfortable and with our daily routines, and I'm talking about everybody, you know, it's that we tend to forget some things or do some things. And these are reminders of what happens if we get laxed in doing some of the things that are required. So that pre-trip that Rose was talking about before, the content of that pre-trip is not negotiable. Well, you know, who forgot what, or, you know, we can point those out, but you need to do them all. And we always use this as a cautionary measure. God forbid if one of those things, one of those scenarios ended up where a student did get injured, seriously injured, because on one of them a student was injured, but I don't think it was to the level where it was seriously injured, right? And third parties getting involved, they are going to be asking for everything that you did from the moment you clocked in terms of walking to your bus, right? And this is just another cautionary measure to remember. That video will catch what you did on that pre-trip inspection. If you turned on that bus and that camera kicks in, it will show what you did, and more importantly, what you didn't do. Like Mr. Tamayo said, that camera can be your best friend, but it also can be your worst enemy. So remember that. These are some of the things that are non-negotiable. You have to do them. Don't get comfortable and say, oh, I'm not going to do it today. And there are other things that we're going to be showing you, bringing to your attention that involves drivers here in staff, because we want to be honest about it. We want to make sure that everyone, hey, don't get comfortable where you start forgetting to do some of these things. And we appreciate the drivers that, you know, that they did an awesome job. You know, there was no finger pointing or anything like that. Everyone did a great job here. And in the end, like Seagrass used to say, everyone eventually ended up going home safe.
Yeah.
Right. But there were some close calls, no doubt on this one. Okay. Thank you, Crystal. And thank you, Rose.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Big shout out to Jackie and Carlos for allowing us to tape them. We had taped a couple of other ones, but those were the ones that we were able to use. I appreciate everybody that helped us. Again, shout out to 234, 231, all those buses that are great about, you know, everything that you all do. Thank you again. Before we leave, we do want to just say hi, hello. There's been a lot of faces that maybe you've seen us working with, and those are our new trainees. If you see on the gallery, they're the guys in the training room. So welcome to Pedro Delgado, Lili Ibarra, Tennessee Liaga, Romelia Hernandez, Dalia Salazar, and one of our own who's gotten their permit and is going to become a driver, Jessica Infante. So we have a lot of stuff going on here in the training department. It takes a village to get to do everything. So we thank each and every one of y'all on the team that are helping us out to get these guys out and onto the road. Rose, do you have anything else to say? Tamayo, would you like to close it?
Yes, thank you for getting on our first safety meeting. Don't forget, we still have one for February, March, April, and May. And so, and just a quick reminder, don't forget that we have moved our Tuesday's department meeting till next Wednesday at 9:30. So I do have some information to share next week, and I think you'll be proud of what you're going to hear part of that. So I think it's going to make your day so I'm asking everybody to click on next Wednesday at 9:30 for our department meeting. Mr. La Cruz, before anything?
Yes, sir. Just if everyone is showing, I know this is a difficult way to say goodbye to one of our family members, so to speak. But if everybody can do a clap for Hector as his last meeting, because as of Monday, I believe that'll be his last day, or Monday or Tuesday. So officially, Hector, this is your last meeting. Thank you for everything, your dedication to this department, and all the great years of service. And good luck, and have fun, and don't forget about us when you're don't have to wake up at 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday or Wednesday morning.
And with that, we say goodbye. We'll see you all later. Get some rest. See you in a bit. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.